Nelumba nucifera is the species of lotus that has historical, cultural, and spiritual significance. It is a sacred flower in both Hinduism and Buddhism, representing the path to spiritual awakening and enlightenment. In Christianity, the lotus flower is often associated with the Apostle Thomas and his coming to India. It was also an important symbol in ancient Egypt, where it represented the path from death to rebirth to the afterlife. In Asian art, a lotus throne is a stylized lotus flower used as the seat or base for a figure. It is the normal pedestal for divine figures in Buddhist art and Hindu art, and often seen in Jain art. Originating in Indian art, it followed Indian religions to East Asia in particular. Lotus flowers are also often held by figures. The Nelumba nucifera, which is also called Nilufar Abbey in Persian, can be seen in many reliefs of the Achaemenid period, 552 BC, such as the statue of Anahita in the Persepolis. Lotus flower was included in Kava the blacksmith's Darafish and later as the flag of the Sasanian Empire Darafish Kaviani. Today, it is known as the symbol of Iranian solar Hijri calendar. The rhizomes of lotus are consumed as a vegetable in Asian countries, extensively in China, Japan, and India, sold whole or in cut pieces, fresh, frozen, or canned. They are fried or cooked mostly in soups, soaked in syrup or pickled in vinegar, with sugar, chili and garlic. Lotus rhizomes have a crunchy texture with sweet tangy flavors and are a classic dish at many banquets, where they are deep fried, stir-fried, or stuffed with meats or preserved fruits. Salads with prawns, sesame oil or coriander leaves are also popular. Fresh lotus root slices are limited by a fast browning rate. Lotus root tea is consumed in Korea. Lotus root is a popular vegetable in Sri Lanka, where it is often cooked in coconut milk gravy. In India, lotus root, also known as kamal kakdi, is cooked as a dry curry or sabzi. Japan is one of the primary users of the rhizomes, representing about 1% of all vegetables consumed. Japan grows its own lotus but still must import 18,000 tons of lotus rhizome each year, of which China provides 15,000 tons yearly. Rhizomes contain high amounts of starch, 31.2%, without characteristic taste or odor. The texture is comparable to a raw potato. The binding and disintegration properties of isolated Nelumba starch have been compared with maize and potato starch. Nelumba starch is shown to be superior as an adjuvant in the preparation of tablets. When dried, N. nucifera is also made into flour, another popular use of this vegetable. Fresh lotus seeds are nutritious but also vulnerable to microbial contamination, especially fungal infections. Therefore, mostly dry lotus seed-based products are found on the market. Traditional sun baking combining with charcoal processing dries the seeds but results in loss of nutrients. Freeze-dried lotus seeds have a longer shelf life and maintain original nutrients, while no differences in flavor are found after rehydration compared to fresh lotus seeds. Dry-stored lotus seeds are sensitive to moisture and mold infestation. Researchers continue to explore new ways to preserve fresh lotus seeds, such as radiation processing. Lotus seeds can be processed into moon cake, lotus seed noodles and food in forms of paste, fermented milk, rice wine, ice cream, popcorn, ful makhana, and others, with lotus seeds as the main raw material. Traditional Eastern medicine claims that fresh lotus seed wine has thirst-quenching, spleen-healing and anti-diarrheal advantages after drinking, attributed to unspecified bioactive compounds. Lotus seed tea is consumed in Korea, and lotus embryo tea is consumed in China and Vietnam. Young lotus stems are used as a salad ingredient in Vietnamese cuisine, and as a vegetable ingredient for some soup and curry in Thailand, such as Kiang Som Sai Bua Thai, Kangsameseba lotus stem sour soup, and Kiang Kati Sai Bua Kangkathaseba lotus stem in coconut milk curry. In China and Korea, lotus leaf tea, Korean Yeonapcha cha, is made from the leaves of the lotus. It is also used as a wrap for steaming rice and sticky rice and other steamed dishes in Southeast Asian cuisine, such as lo mai gai in Chinese cuisine or kao hor bai bua Thai. Kaexbiba fried rice wrapped in lotus leaf in Thai cuisine. Vietnamese also use lotus leaves to wrap green young rice, cam, which is eaten in autumn. The leaves impart a unique scent to the soft moist rice. In Korea, lotus flower tea, yeongkocha yeonko cha, is made from the dried petals of the white lotus. The stamens can be dried and made into a fragrant herbal tea, Chinese Lian Hua Cha Pinyin, Lianhua Cha, Cantonese Yale, Linba cha, or used to impart a scent to tea leaves, particularly in Vietnam. This Vietnamese lotus tea is called Tra Sen, Che Sen, or Che Uop Sen. Nelumba nucifera shows high potential for usage in wastewater treatment, removing polluting compounds and heavy metals. It is able to grow in variable water conditions and in low light intensity. Various studies show the successful use of N. nucifera to counteract water eutrophication. The leaves of the floating lotus reduce sunlight reaching the lower part of the water. This suppresses algae growth in N. nucifera aquatic systems, and thus, the oxygen content is up to 20% higher than in other aquatic plant systems. Due to intense agricultural practices, nitrogen and phosphorus pollution are major problems in aquatic systems. N. nucifera is able to assimilate a higher content of phosphorus than aquatic plants currently used for water remediation, such as water hyacinth. It also assimilates nitrogen, denitrification, and creates a habitat for bacterial growth in the water body. Through rhizofiltration, heavy metals, including arsenic, copper, and cadmium, can be removed efficiently from the water. The results observed are impressive, showing 96% of copper and 85% cadmium metals removed after a 7-day incubation period. The accumulation of heavy metals doesn't show morphological symptoms of metal toxicity. However, the rhizome quality for human consumption needs further study. Nelumba nucifera, also known as sacred lotus, Lakshmi lotus, Indian lotus, or simply lotus, is one of 2 extant species of aquatic plant in the family Nelumbonaceae. It is sometimes colloquially called a water lily, though this more often refers to members of the family Nymphaceae. Lotus plants are adapted to grow in the flood plains of slow-moving rivers and delta areas. Stands of lotus drop hundreds of thousands of seeds every year to the bottom of the pond. While some sprout immediately, and most are eaten by wildlife, the remaining seeds can remain dormant for an extensive period of time as the pond silts in and dries out. During flood conditions, sediments containing these seeds are broken open, and the dormant seeds rehydrate and begin a new lotus colony. Under favorable circumstances, the seeds of this aquatic perennial may remain viable for many years, with the oldest recorded lotus germination being from seeds 1,300 years old recovered from a dry lakebed in northeastern China. Therefore, the Chinese regard the plant as a symbol of longevity. It has a very wide native distribution, ranging from India and Sri Lanka, at altitudes up to 1,400 meters or 4,600 feet in the southern Himalayas, through northern Indochina and East Asia, north to the Amur region. The Russian populations have sometimes been referred to as Nelumba Komarovii, with isolated locations at the Caspian Sea, as well as virtually all of island Southeast Asia, New Guinea, and northern and eastern Australia. Part of this range, namely South India, Sri Lanka, island Southeast Asia, and Australasia, may be the result of historic human introductions, but taxonomic authorities consider the species native to these areas. It has a very long history, c. 3,000 years, of being cultivated for its edible seeds, and it is commonly cultivated in water gardens. It is the national flower of India and Vietnam.